That is basically taking an overview of what I'm writing in that caption and linking it out to more things. And now because of that, it's giving my post a little bit more priority because I fall within what people are searching for.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the walkthrough, the most underrated, valuable marketing show in real estate and podcast history. I'm Eric Simon, aka the Broke Agent, aka the Scroll Stopping Simon, aka the Sire of Swipes, aka the Satirical Sage. Thoughts on that, Jason?
Not bad. I want to point this out though. I was in Fargo this week talking at an event, and in my opening, I said I co-host the Walkthrough podcast, and I got some claps.
It's picking up steam.
We got a few listeners up in Fargo, North Dakota.
I'm telling you, it's picking up steam. And I am joined here by our great co-host, Jason Cassidy, a.k.a. Yetisak Nosage. Jason, do you know what that is? You have to know what that is.
That's something backwards.
Correct.
So Nosage.
What could it be?
Nosage would be I don't know.
Naso.
Oh, my name.
Your name.
My name exactly. Backwards.
Didn't we all do this as kids?
Nosage sounded right, and I had to piece it together. But yes, yeah.
Lauren,
how could you forget that one?
Yeah, like mine is Kyra.
Sausage with a G for some reason, like sausage. But then I got it. Let the record show. I figured it out.
You did. That was good. I called myself Kyronomus growing up. It was just something that you would do as a kid. Maybe just in my household.
Something you would do as a kid.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't think I did that often.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm Kyronomus.
Dance would be fun though.
That would be a crazy one.
Hey, Nad.
Nad. What up, Nad?
Anyway, we are joined here by two guests, getting back into our standard walkthrough format with BAM favorite, Mr. Smile and Dial himself, the Sarasota storyteller, Mr. Dan McKinnon. Dan, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Fantastic. It's been a minute. It's great to be back. Great to hang out with you guys. It's great to be on here.
Welcome back to the show. And finally, we have a first-time guest with no nickname because her name does not need one, Lauren House. Lauren, how are you doing?
What a great name.
Thank you so much for having me. This is fun. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we are excited to have you, and we have an amazing show. And Lauren sells real estate out in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, and in Miami. So this is what we're going to cover today. All right, this is going to be an amazing show. We have new Instagram news that will actually change the way you record your videos. Then we're going to talk about how to get more confident on camera. Is Facebook back as one of the go-to platforms to post on? How to get more views with SEO? And then we're going to cover Marketer of the Week. If you like the sound of that and appreciate the work we do on this show, throw this video a like, smash it, pick up your computer, and drop it on the floor. That didn't actually work. Hit the like button is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right. Quick Instagram news right here. Instagram just added a built-in teleprompter to its Edits video app. And this is a big deal for content creators because this tool lets you upload a script that scrolls on screen right below the front-facing camera so you can look directly at your audience while reading your lines. You can adjust the speed and text size to match your delivery, making your videos feel smoother and more natural. It's simple but powerful update that helps eliminate awkward eye movement and makes on-camera content easier to film, especially for reels and short-form talking videos. I think this is going to be an amazing tool because now you don't have to memorize your scripts. It's very difficult to talk in long form on Instagram Reels, and I think will help agents develop a lot more confidence on camera. So, Lauren, I'll start with you, because you are very confident on camera. I've watched multiple podcast interviews with you, your content on Instagram. Any tips or advice on how agents can get more confident on camera? Like, what do you do in your mind?
Yeah, I just had a girl in my office come in and she's like, "You're so confident on camera. How do you do that?" And I said, do you ever get on camera? And she said, no. So maybe we need to start there.
That helps.
Definitely, like, understanding what it is that you don't like about yourself. It's a grueling process to watch yourself, to critique it, to go back and tweak it. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, but you can start with little stuff. Like, I know that I like to be in black. I know that I like my hair down. Typically I like a little bit more eyeliner, which I don't have any on today, but just things physically. So that's number one. It helps me feel confident when I look at myself. And then the things that I like or don't like in my speech, like, I know that when I'm thinking, I look up. I'm trying to decide if I like that or not, right? Like I know that sometimes I talk really fast when I have a lot that I want to get out or I have a lot of passion. So it's like, am I okay with that? Do I think I sound polished and smart, or would I rather slow down and seem like I have like a little bit more mystery to me? Like these are all just things you have to go back and try. And if you don't want anybody to watch you practice, just film yourself and record it at home and make the tweaks and do it in private. Nobody has to know how much you're practicing.
100%. You could use that edits tool now to just have a teleprompter so you don't
Have you
even have to
used it?
think of. No, I haven't, but I am going to. Because
Okay.
otherwise, I mean, what I do to be confident on camera, if I'm filming a green screen, is I break it up into little pieces. So instead of trying to memorize an entire 45-second script where I am thinking or looking off camera, I deliver the hook, then I deliver the body of what I'm talking about, and then I deliver the call to action. Dan, you're a confident, smiley fella on camera. This
Yeah.
didn't develop overnight. I don't think it did for any of us. Well,
No.
what are your tips for the people watching at home?
Well, first of all, I think that it's amazing that trend this app, the teleprompter, is coming out, because that is one of the best things that's helped me get confident in it, is knowing your content and what you're going to deliver. Is once you start utilizing that, then you start feeling more confident reading off the teleprompter. Maybe you're skipping lines, maybe you're adding things. So I want to break down one thing is I think that most people behind camera or get a little bit nervous when they don't know what they're going to say. And so this is going to utilize a lot where you can write out your own transcript to put up there. Now, remember, you don't have to have it boxed and it doesn't have to feel like a script that you're calling someone. Make it sound like yourself. Sit there and write it out yourself. I push anyone to do this. I just put out a video yesterday that CapCut's basically the devil, because they're stealing all of our stuff, but they have it on CapCut and I use it all the time. It's great to have the my script up there, but if you're really looking to be more confident on camera, I think Lauren put it perfectly. It is an exercise that you have to do honestly all the time to get more comfortable with it. I tell anyone that I work with, I say, hey, you got to just take out your phone and just take a daily video of yourself in while you're walking in public, just so you feel like there are people around you. Because until you start feeling confident to just pick up your phone and not care about anyone else around you, that's when you start seeing results in your business. Because if you're worried about what other people are going to think and how you perfectly look or what you're going to say, we're going to be sitting here forever. And so I do think it's one of those things that you have to get going. You have to put yourself out there, critique it yourself. But at the end of the day, done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. Jason, what about yourself? You're a confident guy, you know. Well, but you've shown your old videos. In those old videos, there wasn't much confidence behind those eyes.
I mean,
So what happened?
that's what happens. You do it for 10 years or 12 years, right? And so like you can shortcut that now with things like teleprompters, because they really help, you know, if you're not having to memorize your script and things like that. You can put yourself on a Google Meet and then just record it by yourself if you're doing like a talk, and then just put that Google Meet recording into ChatGPT or into Gemini and have it critique you. So like I'll do that with keynotes and talking and stuff like that. I'll go through my 30-minute talk and then I'll have it kind of critique me and be like, oh, this part in the middle was a little slow, replace this with this. And so you could actually get really good really fast, but you still have to do it. And, you know, I think Lauren knocked it out of the park there. It's like, it's just going to come with reps. It's going to come with experience. But in this day and age with teleprompter apps and video AI recorders who can critique you, you're going to get experienced much faster than we did 14 years ago. But yeah, confidence just comes with knowing what you're talking about, like Dan said, and then just doing it over and over again.
100%. And then Lauren, I just want to touch upon what you said about looking good.
Oh, I already got that part taken care of. Don't worry.
You got that part taken care of. Everybody here, that's no problem. But Lauren, you're right about, you know, like I like to film in darker shirts for whatever reason. I just think I look better in black.
Mhm.
I look better when I have my scruff at a perfect length. I look better when my hair is covering the receding hairline, sometimes in a hat. But that does matter because sometimes I'll take out the camera to film like an impromptu green screen. I'm like, I look like shit right now. I need to switch. I need to go shower, or I need to get a little bit of sun before this. And it honestly just helps with the projection of the video. So
I think if you probably asked Lauren, do you feel like that was much more important in the beginning of you being confident versus now? Or do you feel like right now you could probably just make a video even if you weren't in that perfect scenario?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been trying to put up a few more stories on Instagram after the gym, because that's like the real raw version. And that's kind of what people are more interested. Anybody can put on nice clothes. Anybody can put on makeup. And so therefore it's easy and you feel really good. But when you open that camera and you turn it around and you're like red and sweaty, oh, that's not fun. But I feel like that's a good exercise in and of itself to get used to, like, this is what I look like, and let's just do it, you know? And I think people appreciate that because you're more relatable. Like, I don't think any of us are trying to be on this pedestal where we're trying to make ourselves better than anybody. We just have the confidence to put ourselves out there. So we're a little bit more known than a lot of people. But yeah, it gets easier over time. And I definitely prefer to like look a certain way on camera. That's just me.
Yeah, that's how it is. And by the way, I am trying to be better than everybody. That
Yeah.
is my goal.
You were
I want to
saying that,
be
and I was just looking
number
at
Okay,
one.
Eric.
sorry.
Yeah.
You're on your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
pedestal.
I want to be number one. I want to squash everybody, and I want everybody else to do horrible around me. You know, this whole mindset of collaboration over competition, the real mindset with 3 agents here, I'm the exact opposite. Competition over collaboration. How about that?
I mean, that's the only way you're going to get to number one.
Exactly.
the only way.
Exactly. Got to squash everybody in your way. Okay, number 2, is Facebook back? So I was watching some sort of Gary Vee. I don't know if it's a clip. The thing with Gary Vee is he puts out so much content. You don't know if you got it from a tweet. You don't know if you got it from a podcast you listen to or an Instagram reel. But I saw him talking about how Facebook organic reach is coming back with a vengeance because everybody the last 3 or 4 years, especially with the TikTokification of algorithms, is going to TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads, everywhere else because Facebook kind of felt like a dead zone. It's like, all right, it's just a bunch of boomers on there. I don't even want to post on there. It's not even fun to scroll on there. Because of that mass exodus of content creators, organic reach is now returning on Facebook. I have seen this on the Broke Agent page, which I still post on every single day, where I am now getting thousands of likes and thousands of shares again when I felt like 2 years ago was a complete dead zone. So, Dan, I'll start with you. Facebook, are you still publishing on Facebook? And have you noticed any difference here on
Yes,
the organic reach?
I have, and it's crazy. I used to just let my Instagram posts kind of just flow over to Facebook, and now I specifically don't, and I go over to Facebook and make it kind of, posted directly organically on there. And I've seen a big difference. And I think we have to, as marketers, we have to stop for a second and realize what's happening here. Meta has changed up so much of their plan for everything. And if you look at what Mark Zuckerberg has just notated, is that they're overhauling their entire ad program and how they're laying out ads with all this AI they were doing. So what does that go to? Is one of their biggest platforms is Facebook. So of course they're going to, try to pump as much organic and, let's get the small businesses back there. Let's, which is great. Let's ride that wave, but let's be realistic is they're going to be pushing this for a good while until that ad platform is all pushed out. So if you're an agent or you're someone out there that's in the industry, utilize it. And it's crazy because it has much more of a reach than just your Instagram, and the fact that there's groups, there's, you know, people can embed much easier. It looks better. There's all different, kind of reach within the platform itself than just, hoping that our reel kind of like goes to the right people or it messages to the right places. So I think that there's a lot of people turning back to it to say, hey, how can I curate that local audience, that smaller audience to actually, turn into a transaction, but also at the same time, you're seeing a larger organic push. And I think that comes from the business side of Meta.
Also, that's where a lot of big real estate audience, right? Who's buying homes? A lot of it is, millennials and the older demographic. So if you're not posting on Facebook, you are definitely missing out on that opportunity. And to your point, Dan, Facebook groups obviously are still a huge place to curate content and make yourself known or become a community leader within one of those groups without even necessarily publishing content, but at least having your name pop up in those groups. So let's not forget about Facebook. Lauren, are you still using Facebook at all, or are you primarily Instagram and YouTube?
I am the opposite of Dan. I started my whole career. My Facebook coach told me do not post the same on both Facebook and Instagram back when Instagram wasn't as cool as it was now. And I made a huge effort for many, many years to post separate things because I know what it's like to open up both apps and I'm like, oh my God, I just saw all of this. I don't need to spend time on the other one if I was just on the first one. And now I've gotten lazy and I just push the toggle on and it posts to Facebook. So I do think I haven't curated a lot of business from Facebook. I have in the past, but I feel like you have a little bit more control, and I like the features on Facebook. Like, I love that you can go back and comment on something and it resurfaces it to everybody. You don't have that on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. So it's just kind of like it has different features that can help you, and it will remind people and like jog their memory of things that they've seen about you in the past. So it's probably not a bad thing to use. I just don't gravitate toward it. It's more of an effort for me to use Facebook.
Yeah, for sure. Jason, I have a couple ideas, but what about you? Are you still publishing on Facebook, or you've been focused on the newer
No,
apps?
back. I think Facebook's great. I think
Yeah.
there's the way the algorithm works is that people who engage with you the most on Instagram see your stuff the most. And so it turns into an echo chamber sometimes. So when I
Mhm.
post on Instagram, I'll notice it's like the same, I don't know, cadence of a couple hundred people that are like engaged. Not every post, but like I get the same. And then I'll post onto Facebook and it's like a different, even though they're probably all following me on Instagram too, it's almost like you're getting to do like a trial reel, but to your own followers again versus to your non-followers, right? So like I've posted some things this last week. I think I put up 5 or 6 posts on Facebook and they've all done really, really well. And most of it was people that didn't engage with my Instagrams. It's just a whole different, even though they're probably both following me on both, it's like a different subset of people are seeing it. And then I think that photos and captions still do really well on Facebook. So if you have the long storytelling caption, that still does really, really well on Facebook, is what I'm noticing.
I was just gonna say, like, updating your Facebook status back in 2005, 2006 was fun, right? It was fun. That was kind of like the first Twitter. Is your brain dumping some joke or some funny thought, or you're hacking your friend's thing and saying Eric Simon is a moron or
Is
whatever. Yes, it'd be a lot worse than that. Trust me. But just to your point, Jason, having a long kind of Facebook status where it's just text based is a great way to get out kind of a brain dump post. So I see Tom Ferry doing this a lot on his Facebook page, as opposed to publishing a photo with that text there. It's just kind of like a Facebook status. And I've done this a few times on the BAM account or on the Broke Agent account, and that does really well because it gets like instant engagement. It feels super organic, and it kind of feels like a nostalgic return back to what Facebook used to be. So I think it's so interesting how the puck keeps shifting, where you think, okay, Instagram is 100% the move, and it still of course is Instagram and TikTok, but now when all the eyeballs have shifted away from Facebook, still publish there because there's a lot of people there, and the vanity metrics just don't matter as much, right? You're not going to care as much about how many likes and shares you got, but you might actually get more leads and engagement from it.
Remember, we always
So,
talk about Facebook and Instagram. People know you, they follow you, and they want to see stuff
yeah.
about you. Whereas TikTok and YouTube are more content driven. People are going there to search for something or get fed something. In the case of TikTok, whatever the algorithm thinks that they want. So, but with Instagram, they've changed their platform so much to be like TikTok. The
Yeah.
reels are favored. They want to keep you going. That Facebook still feels like the only place where people care about like your story, which is why a long caption about a win that you've had or a loss that you've had or something like that still feels like Facebook's the place to put that, and you get the most engagement from people that already follow you. It's not as much of a discoverable platform as TikTok and YouTube is, but it's a great way to go deeper with the people who are already following you.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to it's a very local platform. Even though it's a very large international website, it is a very localized platform where when I jump on, I'm seeing the local Karen bitch about something in the restaurant or something like that down the street, which to be honest is actually great information, seeing like very localized stuff in my community. But like, Jason was just saying, like all these other applications are serving us up videos from 2 years ago, which is awesome, evergreen for what it is. But I think that Facebook is giving a really great opportunity to get very local, give good information that if it actually is valuable, people will share it. It will pop up more and it will make its way into those groups and you'll see those shares go up. So I think it's actually an interesting way to really, get under the surface of your local environment.
I posted this on the BAM Instagram right before this just to see what the comments would be. And there's a lot of people that are agreeing, saying that their organic reach is skyrocketing on Facebook. So if you're watching this, let us know in the comments. Are you posting to Facebook? Have you forgotten about this platform? Because at this point, you shouldn't, because maybe the puck's moving a little bit back there. Okay, so if you want to stand out, right, Jason, on Facebook,
I see
you
what
should
did
also stand out by checking out Reminder Media, which is a resource where you get your own branded print and digital magazines, email newsletters, and social media content, including Facebook content. They deliver these resources to your contacts on autopilot, keeping you top of mind with your database. All you got to do is focus on your follow-up calls and watch referrals and repeat business come in. Use the link below to check out Reminder Media. All right, next topic, SEO. Okay, this is something that I believe Adam Mazzeri just came out about on his Instagram, talking about how people are searching more and more on Instagram. I know I certainly have the AI functionality of it. There's another source. I think the Morning Brew just came out today that social media is now the number one tool that people are getting their news. I would have thought this happened years ago, but instead of people typing in CNN.com, FoxNews.com, they're just going on Instagram, searching things, or going on Twitter and actually finding the news. So I want to pull up 2 posts today about SEO and how to get more views. This is from Will Draper, who is a real estate marketing coach. And this is a chat GPT prompt that he recommends using for your Instagram captions, because it turns out that your Instagram captions, Lauren, this is interesting actually. You could actually add keywords into your Instagram captions. So whether it's Scottsdale real estate or Miami real estate, that's actually going to help the searchability and longevity of your posts. So most agents, as Will says on this post, treat Instagram captions like an afterthought, but your caption is where Instagram decides to see who your post is and whether it shows up in search. Whether you include the right keywords like your city, neighborhood, or buyer type, you show up in front of the right people, you can increase visibility. So keep swiping on this. And here is the chat GPT prompt. So say this, okay, if you're listening to this. You are a real estate marketing expert helping me write on Instagram caption that's optimized for SEO and local discovery. I'm a realtor posting about blank type of post, home for listing in a neighborhood. Please write a caption that includes the city and neighborhood name, clear local keywords, a conversational friendly tone, and a call to action. So if you put that into ChatGPT, this could help your captions with SEO. And then, that's Will Draper. So definitely check him out. And then there's another post that Will Draper did, which also talks about how agents should focus on SEO. And then I'll kick it to the panel here. So if you want more eyeballs on your content, Instagram SEO isn't just some future feature or trend. It's now becoming more and more like Google. So people are searching the keywords and there's more discoverability, visibility, and SEO is becoming a bigger focus for Instagram and should help content live longer than 24 hours. And here is his advice. All right, so keep going here. On your graphics, this is important. So if you're posting a graphic that is about your open house or your listing video or new listing or something, include the neighborhood or include the location. So freshly updated 7 Hills home in Dallas, Georgia. So the AI algorithms are now actually seeing not only what you're saying, what you're writing, but what is actually visually on the photo. 2, in your captions, I just discussed that about having keywords 3+ times throughout your captions. Have it in your profile. We always talk about this, Jason, having it as your display name. Make sure it says Dan McKinnon, Sarasota Real Estate. That way when people actually search it. And then also in your comments. So if you're responding back to people, respond with your keywords. Say, hey, I'm glad you love this neighborhood in Scottsdale. What do you think about it? So the more you keep adding these keywords, the more it's going to affect the longevity of your search. So Dan, I'll start with you on SEO. What are you doing social media wise for SEO, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, SEO happens to just be a good amount of my background when I ran an advertising agency. And so this was stuff that I've been helping companies do on the internet for a long time. So when it came around that it was kind of the first couple things where Instagram, as well as Facebook, like Jason had brought up before, people are still finding it. That's because of these keywords here. Now, you can see on Instagram, if you see someone's post in a longer caption, you'll see even at the top, there's like a blue link that you can hit that will say something like Sarasota Beach Homes or Siesta Key Beach Rentals, if it's under my post talking about a Siesta Key property we have. So that is basically taking an absorption or like an overview of what I'm writing in that caption and linking it out to more things. And now because of that, it's giving my post a little bit more priority because I fall within what people are searching for. Now, search engine optimization, if you're sitting there being like, geez, what is SEO? What is search engine optimization? Just think of it like this. You're just optimizing your content for people to search for it. So stop for a second and figure out where you are. What are you selling? who are you selling to, and figure out what are the questions they're asking and how are they coming to the conclusion that you have for them. I have a home near Siesta Key Beach that's great for vacation rentals and for your own vacations. Well, how can we put those words out there, which those keywords, you can either think of them a little bit logically, or you can use other tools like Google Insights are great. Google Insights is a free tool that you can go on there and research stuff. Answer the Public. They have a couple free trials in there. If not, it's like $9 a month. You can pull all that stuff. Now, bring it back to Instagram. Have a list in your notes or something nearby that you can always reference and throw it at ChatGPT. Say, hey, here's my 10 favorite keywords. Can you please infuse this caption I just wrote without being too salesy and, not overwhelming and, keyword stuffing. Now, with that, you start seeing that your content's going to start dropping things like find your beach bungalow walkable to Siesta Key, because people are going to look up walk to Siesta Key. So now we're talking in language that people actually want to find. So that's my little tip there. I love SEO. I think it's one of the most powerful things. That's why I think blogging is so great. But now that it's coming into social media, it brings our content that we work very hard on. It makes it so it can last more than 24 hours. So if someone's searching for something, I'm starting to see a lot of my content that do have good keywords in it, that are good piece of content from 6-9 months ago, starting to get hit more just even recently. So it's been kind of cool. If you can put it into your content, try to do it, and try to have some. It might feel a little generalized when you write these content or these captions, but it needs to be.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier that, or not this episode, but maybe on a previous episode, that Instagram posts are starting to show up on Google now. So if you do post
Yes.
something that is, restaurants walkable in this neighborhood in Sarasota, and then your Instagram post pops up, think about the longevity of that. If
And it's
that's the
like the
top thing on
third post
Google,
too.
yeah,
And we're talking
exactly.
about, like, I work real hard for our website to show up on certain pages, but the fact that Instagram's showing a video that is, I'm going to click on that 1,000 times over if I see a video of someone. They're going to explain it faster than I can read it. So
Definitely.
think about the edge you can have on other people in your area.
Yeah. Lauren, just Instagram caption wise, a lot of agents like to mail in their caption where they just either ask a question or they just kind of reiterate what was said in the actual video. Is there anything you do specifically, maybe not from an SEO perspective, but to improve your post or get more engagement through your caption?
I have a wide variety of things I do. So I have different topics, right? Like we're all told to have our buckets. Sometimes it takes me an hour to write a caption,
Damn.
and I don't necessarily think about SEO, but I'm aware of the keywords that are in there because I want it to be something that somebody's going to type in. So I don't go back and double check, but I think it's just like a natural thing, like buyers, sellers, whatever the little phrase is. And then I had just sometimes it's like the photo. It's like this doesn't need like a long, vulnerable post or a super informational post. It's just a simple, like something sassy. So I try to go back and forth because I don't have an hour to write on every single post if I'm posting 5 to 6 times a week. Some of it's stories, some of it's like, I don't know. It totally depends on my mood and what I'm feeling. But yeah, I try to just have like a wide variety. I'm always aware of what I'm putting in there so that it can be something, again, that somebody's going to type in and hopefully find. Same with YouTube descriptions. It's huge. You have 5,000 characters, so you might as well use them.
Yeah, I think the variety of caption is a great idea, kind of like how we always talk about the emphasis on variety of post style, whether it's tweet based, carousel, Instagram reel, always mixing it up, how people can consume your content is important to keep them engaged. But yeah, it's really hard after you come up with this long post. Say you edited a reel for 2 hours and filmed it and had a bunch of mess ups and had a green screen and the lighting. So like, then you have to come up with the caption too. But I think this will help guide people as to, okay, I need to add a bunch of keywords here to do this. Jason, what about you? Are you an SEO guy like D Mac?
I am. Okay, I'll preface with yeah, for sure. Like anything you're doing on social media is obviously tapping into Google, which is SEO. SEO, the game for the last 15 years has been to be their answer when someone searches whatever, best real estate agent in San Diego. You want to be one of the results that pop up, and you do that by typing a lot of blogs with the keywords best real estate agent in San Diego or whatever keywords you're trying to work for. I mentioned this last week really quickly and briefly at the beginning of the Chris Smith episode. I think that the puck is moving into GEO a little bit, which is generative engine optimization. And that's a tad bit different than SEO. And that's basically getting it to be so that you're the answer when people chat GPT, who is the best. And that's different from SEO because the LLMs work on basically like it's probabilistic answers. So they're trying to answer the question of who is the best agent, whereas Google's trying to present a list of different agents and then let the consumer pick through. And so what you're trying to do on GEO is basically put a lot of like high quality FAQ type articles that position you as the best agent in, and then you'll show up on the GEO. So SEO important. 10 years from now, you'll wish you had spent a little bit more time in the GEO space, which is what I'm doing now. This is not a plug. I hired a company to like do GEO for us for the exact goal of becoming, for the next 5 years, the relevant person that pops up. That being said, in 2025, where social media is still dominating, SEO is really important. Everything we talked about, make sure your captions have it. I think you can go to like your reels even. We've talked about this too, right? If you go to your reels and then you go into like the comments, you'll see the SEO, it pops up with like the keywords of what they think your reel is about. And then if you refresh that, it'll actually come up a little bit differently. And so it tells you, it's scanning your video, trying to guess what your video is about. And so if your video is about San Diego real estate and you clearly put that on your caption and you clearly put that in, that's going to help you get found when people are searching for San Diego real estate, right? So SEO is still very, very important in your Instagram captions, in your social content, in the words you say. Remember that every video that you upload, they're also caching and like transcribing so that they do that so that when you click captions, they have all the words there. But there's a text file on that video that you upload. So if you say San Diego real estate a bunch in your video, that means that San Diego real estate is also in the text file that accompanies your video. So it's a higher likelihood that it'll get picked up for that too. So say the word a lot, type the word a lot, maybe have it as a text overlay. But if I can skate where the puck is going, pay attention a little bit to GEO as well over the next few years, because I think that's going to be a new branch of SEO that'll be equally or more important.
So much to take in. Think about all the hooks that we have to have. We talk about having a visual hook, an audio hook, a text-based hook, and then a hook in your caption. You know, the Chelsea Pites 4-hook strategy. And now you also should have a hook that is basically SEO based. So that text-based hook, because they're looking at the visuals, the graphics on your page, should say best dive bars in Scottsdale for the summer, right? And then you're talking about the best dive bars in Scottsdale. Then in your caption, it says the best dive bars in Scottsdale. So it's a lot.
Since to make it a little easier though, and I don't want to get, we went deep into making this hard, but if you're stuck there and you have a good video, download the transcript of that video, exactly what you say, and upload that to chat and say, hey, I really need a great caption that's going to hit on these 6 keywords and hit in my area on this video. Here's the transcript. What do you have for 2,000 characters? And
How do you download the transcript to a video? Everyone always says this.
Upload to YouTube as a private link, and so you're not sharing it to anyone in public. It's unlisted. And then it should be a Google Chrome plugin that is YouTube transcript or something like that. You could just look up Google Chrome.
You can use Descript for this as well.
There we go. Descript. Yep. That works. Once it's on, the plugin I have is just on every YouTube screen. So I just hit transcript right every time. So every time I upload my stuff, I do that. I hit the transcript. Descript, I use Descript too.
Descript is great for MP3s, for audios or videos. You just upload it in and it'll give you a whole thing. It can even identify the different speakers. So then it'll label it like Dan.
It
Lauren,
also has
Jason,
the eyes,
Eric.
the eye movement for if you're reading off a whatever it is.
With Descript,
teleprompter.
we've taken our coaching calls, or like we'll listen in on our Zillow calls, and we'll take the transcript, put them in Descript, and so it'll be like client and then Eric, and then we'll say, hey, and then we can get the script of it, put it into ChatGPT, say, hey, analyze this conversation and let us know where we could have done better on sales coaching too. So Descript is anything that can like break down and give you a transcript is super valuable.
So, and then that way you can just. And to be honest, go back to what Lauren was saying earlier, and you could even take that and say, how can I get better? Do a SWOT analysis on this video. How can I learn from it? What did I do good? What did I not? So just to make it easy for everybody out there that's like, oh my God, I don't know how to do SEO. Find the 3, 4, 5 different keywords that you want to perform on. Take that whole transcript of your video, upload it, and see what it comes up with. And you can tweak it yourself, make it more personal.
Love that. And shout out Will Draper for those very helpful Instagram posts. He's putting out some great content. All right, here is something else kind of on that level is if you are trying to show up online, right? Here's something that's actually helping agents dominate, and that is experience.com. And if you haven't heard it, this is a platform that gives real estate agents a free profile that boosts your visibility on Google search and maps. We're talking 93% of users showing up on the first page of Google. So this is a company that actually helps you with exactly what we're talking about. So from one dashboard, you can manage your entire online presence, collect and showcase reviews, track customer sentiment, and even share client feedback straight to social. So if you want to show up higher, look better online, and actually control your digital reputation, hit the link in the description below and check out your free profile. Okay, Lauren, this is a fun segment that we do. It is called Marketer of the Week. Okay, we have two Marketers of the Week. We haven't done this in a few weeks, Jason.
Is it me?
So no, it's not you. Have you posted anything recently? Yeah, you did.
I'm outta here.
Congratulations on your congratulations on your Zillow partnership.
Zillow Flex, baby. I don't know
Zillow
if that's
Flex.
a congratulations or an RIP. See me in a couple years and see how it plays out. But
That's
yeah.
a congratulations. But we're talking about being authentic on video, right? We're talking about how to get confidence in video. There is a viral storytelling post about the incompetence of another agent.
I just got off the phone with a listing agent who has had a house for sale for 116 days, and they're advertising it as cash only. And so I called to ask, like, why? What about the house makes it not financeable? We have a buyer with 20% down, conventional financing, just curious. And her response was, I don't care how you get the cash. If it's in a loan, that's not how this works. Okay? There's finance options in a listing. And if it says cash only, that means green cash monies or hard monies or some sort of cash monies. If it doesn't say conventional FHA, VA, you're ruling out most buyers. So just make sure you're being represented correctly.
So pause it and keep it up there just for the caption. So what I love about this video is it's obviously just organic. She's, crushing a peanut butter sandwich and ripping it to pieces as she's telling the story, which is just kind of funny. It shows you it's kind of a spur of the moment content. It also shows that, she's showing the incompetence of other agents, which is sometimes a helpful thing to do to kind of like put the alarm bells in your potential client's ears, where it's like, well, oh yeah, but does my agent even know what they're talking about? This agent clearly kind of does by doing this viral storytelling. I just thought it was a great video. This thing has 16,000 likes and even more thousands and thousands of shares. So Lauren, do you like this video? What do you think about this from NW Realtor 360?
I have actually asked a lot of people how they feel about putting up stories and throwing other people under the bus, because I obviously have a ton of them where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you are getting paid to not work, essentially. And most people are like, that's cheesy, that's classy, or cheesy, and don't do that because it's not classy. I mean, this is not my style. I would never eat a peanut butter sandwich and do this. I think she did it in a classy way. She's not trying to get business. She's just drawing attention to the fact that, again, like reading between the lines, it's very easy to get a real estate license. Nobody cares who you are, what your history is. It's $400 and you got a real estate license and you're dealing with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So she's just showing that not everybody is on the same level. I like the message. I like the message. I think it's okay. She didn't tear anyone apart. Yeah.
Sure. She didn't name the agent, of course. So you're not into the whole eating the sandwich thing on this.
That's not my style.
That's fine. There's comments ripping her, by the way. Most of the comments are positive, but of course there's a lot of comments just, I don't know, like the style was very, sassy and organic and relatable. And I thought it was
she did a good job. I wouldn't do that. So I give her kudos for like eating a sandwich on camera. I wouldn't do that.
Exactly. Jason, what are your thoughts on this video?
What would you think my thoughts on this video would be, Eric, knowing what you know about me?
I think you hate it.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think anytime that someone is eating, it's funny to me. Like in this cadence, like if you were trying to do something else, but like it's so like almost like passive aggressive where she's like, I'm not even going to stop eating. I'm going to tell this story. She told a story, which we tell everybody to do, story tell, because it like I wanted to hear to the end to see what was going wrong. She didn't name the person. It's not, obviously that would be bad. It's not like she put the ad. She didn't put the address. She didn't name it. But it was the whole point of the video was obviously to convey what you're talking about. Like, it's a little bit of like, hey, this is a funny thing that I saw, but you're subliminally saying like, I don't do that. I'm good at what I do. But like I can't be bothered to like go to the studio and film this. I'm just going to film my camera and I'm not going to stop eating is so funny to me. Like, I don't know why when I see that type of content where someone's like too cool for school in a sense that they can't even be bothered to stop what they're doing. And it makes for better content for me. So I love that video. Now you can get into the weeds and say like, we shouldn't be putting out content for other industry specific, like depends on what her brand is. I have no idea who that is. Right. So like if Alyssa Kernot or Kim Pozek posted a video like that.
Are you kidding me? Lauren, we have mentioned Alyssa Kernot's name every single podcast episode for 6 months.
I think he did it to
plant.
get a reaction.
It's a plant.
No, he didn't. He didn't is the thing. That was completely organic. If he tried to weave it in like
This
that,
section
I would
is
give him
sponsored by Alyssa Kernot.
I would give him kudos.
The point is, if somebody who had a dedicated brand doing something else did that, it would be such a pattern interrupt. I don't know if it would work super well. Like I you know what I mean? But like, I don't know who that lady is, but like that really worked for her. You could tell she's comfortable doing it, right? So it's not like you're asking Lauren, who wouldn't do that, to do it, right? So like she wasn't trying to be weird. She like just like did what she did and it worked really, really well. I don't know. I'm all in 100%.
Let us know in the comments what you think about that. Let's get into Marketer of the Week number 2. Okay, so Neil Dingra, he just gave a talk in Fresno. We were at it, Jason. We spoke at it.
We were.
And this is a new way to do green screens, and I think it's super clean.
Have you seen what's in this new tax bill that Congress just signed? There have been some pretty crazy changes over the past few days. So the first thing is the permanent extension of the 2017 Trump tax cuts. These were about to expire, but now they're going to be locked in. They also did a small increase to the child tax credit to keep up with inflation. And then this is a pretty big one. They increased the state and local tax deduction, aka SALT deduction, from $10,000 per household all the way up to $4,000.
So you see what he's doing there is he, instead of doing a green screen, he's just he's just reading it and he's just popping up the photos of what the article says. So instead of having the article behind you, which of course we recommend, it's always very effective, he just puts the headline in front of him while he's saying it. And he said it just kind of looks more clean. I like
the contrast too, because he's obviously shooting with a good camera with a back, you know, he's got like the depth set on his camera. So it looks really good. So highlight that and put the headline low. If he did green screen there, he would be this big and then the green screen would take up. And I kind of like this as a contrast because he also does green screen. So it's a better pattern interrupt for him. He talked in the talk in Fresno about utilizing political news, you know what I mean? Yeah. And he talked about this style, but like, obviously it's just polarizing political news. So it's probably going to get tons of comments. But I'm just talking like cinematography here. I actually like what he does here. If he has a great setup, highlight the setup and then just put the thing lower.
Dan, what are your thoughts on this style of content? Do you like it better than the green screen?
I think it just delivers a different product. I think that this is, you know, this at the end of the day is a little bit more packaged. It's using the rule of thirds on videography. Your top third is going to be his face and you're looking right at that. Then you're drawn down by a headline or something like that. So he obviously is utilizing this. We know Neil is very, very intelligent on video and delivering stories. So, you know, I think what Jason said, it's picturing him in a much more professional light than taking a camera and like the one I did yesterday where the curls between my hair is grabbing the orange behind me, you know? And so it does feel a little rough, which is relatable for some people. And they'll look at that as like, oh, Dan, let me get my quick little news. Now, Neil is talking on a national level though. So Neil, I think, is upgrading that talk show kind of feel where people can feel like they want to share it out versus something where it's like, local schmo Dan put this out. So I do think that it brings up the level. So if you're working in luxury, if you're working in an audience that, you know, Manhattan, New York, Miami, certain parts that are more luxury, I would actually go towards this more because you may not feel even comfortable doing the green screen. But here's the thing, have someone shoot it for you and then have the editor just place over. And to be honest, on the other side, when I saw him do this, I was like, this is so much time left that he doesn't have to deal with because he just sits there, has a script, reads 10 of them and has an editor do the rest.
Yeah, he's not even using the teleprompter app. He's just reading straight from his phone.
Yeah.
By the way, he also hooks everybody in by just saying, hey guys, did you hear about this? It's such a simple, easy hook. Mm-hmm. Lauren, do you ever do green screens or news headlines or anything like that?
I don't do news, and I don't do the green screen because I swipe past them. I feel like they're chaotic. It's exactly
Yeah.
what Dan just said. This was a much more luxury, polished delivery that I was kind of just admiring what Jason said. It looks beautiful. Like that's my kind of script and my style. But for me, yeah, green screen's chaotic. So I've never even tried it. I don't
He
like it.
he
That's a
gave
good way
us
to
this
put it.
tip. It wasn't at Forward because I haven't been to Forward. It was that somewhere else I saw him speak, but he said that you can do this on your phone if you switch the video camera to cinematic and then you switch the F, which is at the top, over to 5.6. It kind of messes with the depth. And you can actually kind of get that effect just from your cell phone. Where if you set
Yeah,
it
if you
up,
change the aperture, which is that little F button, and you
Yep.
can play with it, it will blur out the back. And so if you have an iPhone, you can set it to, like Jason just said, cinematic, point it at yourself, and then hit record. Go sit in the chair yourself.
Not the front facing camera.
no, the back camera.
Back
I
camera.
don't know. Maybe the front can too, but I've
You
always
can do both
done it
now,
at the back.
but if you're gonna do a video like that, you got to use the good camera.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. So that you can do that. You don't have to have a videographer shoot. Obviously better, but you can do this on your phone too. If you go to cinematic recording and then you change the aperture, which is the little F.
Well,
Well,
and that's really cool too, because this type of thing, you could set yourself up with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these scripts, set up your tripod, literally hit record and do an hour-long video and cut it up yourself after. So if you're sitting at home watching this, be like, I don't have Neil's $10,000 camera and his production crew. Yes, you do. It's on your phone, backwards facing, the better camera, put it in cinematic, hit some scripts and cut it.
Exactly. That was a value-packed episode brought to you by The Walkthrough, Jason. Just topic after topic after topic. Lauren, we would love to have you back. You were an amazing guest. If you're not following Lauren, what is your Instagram handle? Where can the people reach you?
The people can reach me at Lauren M. House.
Lauren M. House, one of the best names in
Easy.
real estate. And if you have any referrals out in Scottsdale or Miami, you hit up Lauren M. House. And then, of course, follow Dr. Smiles, Dr. Clickstein, Dan McKinnon himself. Dan, where can the people follow you?
Oh, you can find me on Dan the Realtor. You can go
Dan
just find
the
me,
Realtor
Dan
on Instagram for great real estate tips, all things Sarasota. And then, of course, you could follow the great one, Jason Cassidy.
Take it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on
Thank
The
you.
Walkthrough.
Bye.